Hello, vinyl community. It's that time of the year again. It's Vinyl Tag 2020. This year's is a little interesting because I know there are a bunch of people that spring on January 1st to see what the list is. But like me, I didn't see one immediately. So I was curious. And the guy who had been putting them out the past couple of years, Tales from the Crate, is kind of MIA, so to speak, and two people kind of jumped in, Rob Walker and StuntrockConfusion. They came up with their own list, and I mean, they were hours apart, and I liked elements of both lists, and I saw that Mazzy had kind of did a hybrid, so I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm wondering, everybody seems to like doing this, and I'm wondering if, maybe we should take 10, 20 members or everyone submit a bunch of questions and kind of set up a committee to kind of pick out which ones maybe the week before January 1st. There are some ones on both lists that are particularly challenging, and then there are others that are particularly generic, and there's nothing wrong with that. I really like the lists that allow many people to participate, and it's a little bit genre agnostic. There have been specific genre vinyl tags this year, which is great. But yeah, I like these because you get to see so many channels that you never normally get to see. For me, this is a great time of year because I get to see a bunch of different people that I just I've never encountered before. So let's get into it. The first question is, favorite album purchased in 2021, and I just did my list of 2021 albums, all music made in 2021. So not to beat a dead horse, but by far my favorite album was The Moderators' Midnight Madness, and again, it's a Grecian DJ that takes eclectic 45s from the 50s and 60s, and he mixes in modern instrumentation, puts a little bit of beat music to it, and just makes it a very lively record. I do want to do a couple more samples, different ones this time, so you get a different feel for what this album can present. Second question that I chose was, show a cheapo record you got in 2021. So I'm a big fan of 50s and early 60s vocal jazz, and there are just so many forgotten singers out there that often get overlooked, and it's really kind of a travesty. And I found this one this year. This was a whopping $3. This is Gail Robbins' I'm a Dreamer. I think this is her only album. The back cover really hypes her with hype commentary from the famous American comedian Bob Hope. And I just love the sexy sultriness of her voice. And I just found this to be a wonderful record, and this is another one I'd like to give you a sampling of.
You'd better watch out, baby, if you're wise. Oh, those eyes, they squint and let these pair of golden earrings cast their spell tonight.
Third question, album by the first person that you saw live. I'm originally from Wyoming, and Wyoming is not a state that many popular acts go and visit. Occasionally there are artists that will go and play Casper, which is central to the state, but really if you want to go see a good show, you have to travel to Denver, Colorado. So while I did see a few bands in my college days that, were not really top tier bands, the first big name act that I actually got to see was in 1995, and that was Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I got to see him on the second leg of this tour, and my mind was blown. In college, I became a huge Zepp head, and Zeppelin was what I was playing 90% of the time. And yeah, this album really cemented my love. It's funny because I discovered them around the same time when they did this Unleaded album. And yeah, my mind was blown when I saw them in Denver, Colorado at the Fiddler's Green. Fourth question I selected was show a record from a brand new artist you got in 2021. So I wanted to do something a little bit different than what I did in my best of 2021. There were some artists I couldn't show, and one of them was this one, which is Jakub Józef Orlinski. I was totally unfamiliar with Jakub Orlinski. Jakub Orlinski is a Polish countertenor. And I was just amazed reading about his history. He started out as a break dancer, and then, he found this affinity for this classical music, and he exposed me to music that I was totally unfamiliar with. At first, the countertenor, it sounds like kind of a deeper female register, and I couldn't believe it was him. And the music, mostly from the 1600s and probably early 1700s, it was music that I just had never heard before. And I like it because he's done some music videos, and he's done them to, the music of the time. And it's just fantastic. It's a modern take on the music, and I love it. And I'm hoping I might be able to get away with some type of clip or sound sample here. So the next question, it's going to be a challenging one for a lot of people, I think, but it's show an album with a sporting theme. What immediately came to mind for me was this one by Roxy Music. So this is not, of course, the original. This is a remix, and I love the rub and tug remix of the main theme on this particular album, and I do want to play you a sample of it. All right, the sixth question was show a concept album. This is a question that's shown up before, but I wanted to show something a little bit different this year. And the album I'm going to show is A Perfect Circle, The 13th Step, which is a take on the 12 Steps of Recovery. And all the songs are about addiction from a different point of view. To me, this is A Perfect Circle's best album. Next question was show a cover that features at least 8 people on it, and I want to show this funk disco album by the group Sky on South Soul. Exactly 8 people, and one that's sporting a very, very hairy chest. Take a look at that. Next question was show a record you love but you haven't given much love to of late. I was explaining to Dean, Grandma's Handbag, that my listening habit is a 60-40 split. So I like to listen to 60% new music from the past couple of years, but I also take the other 40% and you know, I'm listening to the classics, older stuff on my shelf, classic rock stuff. And you know, I was thumbing through my shelves, and one I have not listened to in a very long time is anything by Steve Miller Band, and this is Fly Like an Eagle, and this really deserves a good audiophile reissue, if you ask me. Next question was show a live album. It would be a crime if I didn't show this, as it just recently came out as of 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers' first flight to Tokyo. After this point in time, Art became a huge fan of the country of Japan. You know, later he took a Japanese wife, and yeah, this is just a wonderful performance from my favorite lineup of the band. This was a must-have for me, and it was also a pre-order. I am so happy I got it before Christmas to spin it. Next, show an album from a different continent, and so I'm going to take the continent of South America. I am going to take the Chilean artist Manduka. This was released in Brazil. This is psych folk with a kind of a Brazilian bossa twist. Just a fantastic record. You can sample the whole thing. In fact, I think you can download the whole thing for free off of Bandcamp, but here's a couple of samples off this one.
Lá vem um navio que vem descomandar, descomanda.
So the next question was show the most out of your comfort zone record you got in the past year. So if you watched my post record store day pickups, I picked up Sun Ra, which is more on the free jazz side, which, you know, I really don't go for free jazz that much, but you know, I did give it a listen. I did give it a try. I'm always willing to try free jazz to see if it'll click with me, but I haven't made it click yet. But yeah, you know, other genres, I do like to pick things up. To answer this question, I'm going to show Chris Ledoux, Wyoming Cowboy. I had to pick this up because I am from Wyoming. Everyone in Wyoming is quite familiar with Chris Ledoux. You know, he was really, I wouldn't say he was like super mainstream country, but he did become more mainstream later on. He did a duet with Garth Brooks, which is featured on this album. He also lived very close to my grandmother. Unfortunately, he passed away from cancer. And so I picked this up for sentimental reasons. Again, I'm not a huge country music fan, although I do pick some up on occasion. And this is one that, you know, it was kind of an essential pickup for me. Next question, it was just kind of a hybrid from both lists. So show a punk or a new wave album. And one of the questions was show an album from 1982. So I'm going to show a new wave item, or new wave album from 1982, and that is Duran Duran's Rio. Next question that I selected was show a jazz album. I want to use this as an opportunity to feature a jazz record that's not Blue Note, not Prestige. This is a Classic Records pressing from Epic, which is the Dave Bailey Sextet, One Foot in the Gutter. This is just so audiophile. It's only 3 songs in length. There is a CD version of it which has a 4-song, but I really want to hear the complete set. This is just fantastic. If you're not familiar with Dave Bailey is a drummer from the hard bop era, and just a fantastic record. Next question I selected was show a soundtrack, and for this one I gotta show The Crow. This was released on Record Store Day a couple of years ago. I totally missed out on it. It was a colored variant, so I had assumed that they would do a regular version of this, and I'm glad they did, because I didn't want to pay the post-Record Store Day flipper prices for it, and this is just a killer lineup. I bought the soundtrack when it came out, and this is one that I just had to have on vinyl. Next question was show a record cover with no writing on the jacket. So I caught Zep Pearl Vance's video earlier today, and the one I knew of he already grabbed, and that was Led Zeppelin 4. I could go with Houses of the Holy. Yeah, there is no writing on the cover. Although when it, if you got the original, it had an OB that said Houses of the Holy, but you can't find it with the OB. So yeah, not even anything on the spine here. So is that cheating? I could go with Sebastian. Sebastian's Thirst. It's, yeah, this is what you get. White, and it came in a jacket with everything on it. So yeah, Sebastian, is on Ed Banger, and it's dance, electronic music. Meyer Hawthorne is on it. Charlotte Gainsbourg is on it. I like Sebastian, and he always does these theme covers with a mirror image of himself. Next one is show a colored vinyl record. So I want to take this opportunity to show you Honeybone's Spheres. Honeybone is an Australian band. They're psych rock, hard rock, female fronted. Really not much to speak on the inner jacket here, but it came on this killer blue, white, black splatter, which I think helps with the cover. Next question is show your Pride dig of 2021. I did my post-Record Store Day Black Friday video. That was my first dig in close to 2 years, and I picked up a bunch of albums, but one of the ones that I take great pride in is this signed copy of Placido Domingo's greatest hits, or the best of Placido Domingo, on Deutsche Grammophon, not American Gramophone. I have a signed Pavarotti record, and now I'm looking for Jose Carreras, so my 3 tenor collection can be complete. Yes, opera. Occasionally I do like opera. Next question was show a box set. So I decided to show this 2017 release by Maya Jane Coles, which is Take Flight. It is a 3-record set. Maya Jane Coles, if you're not familiar with her, is a UK-based musician that does electronic, trip-hop, dub-type music. This was a 3 LP set in which she did the artwork for each of the LPs. I really enjoyed this release, and this is one that, you can find relatively cheaply. I do recommend that one. Next question, show your favorite, coolest cover art of 2021, or that you got that year. There were a lot of cool covers. Every year has its cool covers. One of the standouts for me was the Space Boys Sonic Fiction. I like this fisheye type view of the city. Space Boys, if you're not familiar with them, they're Portuguese. This was a CD only release when it came out, and it came out in 2003 maybe. This is electronic trip hop sometimes. I just enjoyed it. So I do want to give you a couple sound samples off this one. The 20th question I want to answer here is show a record you got as a present or VCLT in 2021. And a few days prior to Christmas, this guy arrived at my door. This is from Bill at the Vinylverse. If you're not familiar with the cover of this album, this is the Porcupine Tree with their album Fear of a Blank Planet, which is probably their best known album, and it is highly regarded. It is a modern day prog rock album, which came out in the late 2000s, I want to say, 2007. I do have this one on CD. I have yet to clean this one, and I'm really looking forward to cleaning it and spinning it. But yeah, this is one you need to get if you're into prog. So there you have it. That's my answer, or that's my compilation of the vinyl tag questions this year. All the questions that I did answer, a list of them is down below. You don't have to follow what I did. I noticed that a lot of people are following Rob Walker's questions, which is good because most of those are generic. And so is Stunt Rock's. And you know, if you don't like questions from one list, mix it up with another set. I'm really curious to see some other responses. So if you're new and you're curious to, you know, show some records in the VC, this is a great place to start. So if you've made it to the end of this video, I thank you. I don't like making these fairly lengthy videos, but I do enjoy responding to them. I do enjoy sharing records with other people out there. So I have to say thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, I do appreciate it. Shoot me a comment down below. I love the interaction, and I'll catch you next time.